born in Jamaica, brought to this land of bricks and mortar at the age of 8, and pretty much spent the rest of my life here. My major influences were my teachers, and the places that I found the most comfort in life was at school. So tonight will be pretty much full circle of what my life and education experience has been. Oh, because I wasn't really working. That's the trick to the game. If you do something you love, you're not really working. And for 30 years, I showed up, and I can honestly say I never had a bad day. All the things that I couldn't do while I was teaching, drugs, sex. You're not laughing. All right, now, I'm gonna pretty much do all the things that frees me up. Still, I'm a lifelong learner, but now it's on my time. I don't have the grind of a commute or the restrictions of having to set plans. So I'm gonna learn, and the world is my home. So what I learned early is I'm a PE teacher, physical education, but the subject doesn't matter. What matter are the students. So for me, what I really wanted to do was play anyway, so I was already in a field where I was doing what I wanted to do, so then I could really use my focus and my attention on the people that were around me. So I never really taught, in my opinion, I coached and I taught, but I never really taught the sport. I taught the people that played the sport. And I was just living life. I really didn't think of it as work. I honestly feel fresh. I could go another 30. My advice to anyone who is becoming an educator now is the subject matter is just the title. It's the template for what you're supposed to do, but you need to look at every single child in front of you as if they were your own. And if you care about your own kids, you should care about all of them. So if everything that matters to them is in place first, then the lesson comes easy. Also, as a teacher, you need to recognize that you're a real person. And once they feel that you're a real person and you acknowledge them and you care about them, they'll learn anything from you. You're gonna hear some stories tonight that will probably answer that better than I could. It's actually kind of overwhelming.
I know Coach from DeWitt Clinton High School, and I think about 15 years of service together in Clinton, and he's just this awesome guy who's above reproach. He's a good dude. He makes sure that our children were well taken care of, and he's got a great heart. I think he helped our children who came from the inner city realize their dreams, their hopes, their aspirations, their goals. I believe that he helped them to dream bigger and reach higher and soar farther than they would had they not come in contact with him.
Well, for me, Coach Langley, he was my PE teacher. I was at DeWitt Clinton from 96 to 2000. And Coach Langley, for me, played a major part in my life personally. A prime example was my last year in high school. I was kind of going down a rough patch, but he was always someone to go to and express my concerns, cares, and all that. And he was just a great person that exemplifies what a servant leader is. He was dedicated to his teacher, but he goes over and beyond to make sure the students are taken care of and, you know, a good person to relate to. And I came all the way from Texas. So I heard he was retiring, so I wanted to say, you know, because I haven't seen him, it's been almost 20 years, so this is going to be fun. Yeah. I just want to say, Coach Langley, congratulations on your retirement. All the wishes to you and your family, and pray for much more success for you and the family.
Coach Langley thinks that he's retiring. I'm not sure what he's retiring from. Definitely not from our lives. He might be retiring from the New York City education system, but we'll never let him go. Wherever he is, we'll definitely follow him. I'm not thinking about stalking, but borderline. So thank you. I really do appreciate all that he has done for us, and we appreciated his love and his attention, and I do love him. I will miss him, but I will definitely be visiting often. Thank you.
Coach Langley is a co-worker of mine, although we don't work in the same school, but I have known him for over, I would say 15 years, and this is by through track and field, and we're in the sports fraternity. Coach Langley is a very unique species, and he has a very infectious smile that touches everyone he comes across. And I can say that because when I met Coach Langley on the first occasion, it was casually at Dewey Clinton as a coach. They're coaching. I am from Taft, and we share the same facility. And he's a very interesting character. Coach Langley makes everyone who comes in contact with have a smile on their face if they're down. That is his mantra. He wants everyone to be happy, and not just adults only, especially the kids that he works with, especially the ones that he coaches over years, and I can go on and on. Coach Langley, you are a very special human being to me. I see you as a big brother, as a mentor, and I would say that knowing you has impacted my life. I would say both in and out, as professionally and privately, and I would say that I would always remember you as a person, and congratulations on you retiring from the Board of Ed. We're going to miss someone very special in the classroom and on the field. I know those students that you come in contact with on a daily basis, they are going to miss you from their life.
Coach Langley. Coach Langley and we grew up together on Davidson Avenue on 174th Street, so we go like way back before he could speak good English. I know his whole family. We're still very friendly. He's just a nice person. Always has been, from the front to the back. He's really good. He has impacted my life watching him grow into the person that he has become. He was always into sports, running track, always into something, football. He taught me how to play touch football. Yeah, my father didn't want us to play because, the guys want to touch football, so we couldn't play with them. But he taught us that. Jamaican food, his mom. I knew all his family. We really grew up together. We call him Howie. Howie, enjoy your retirement. You're one of the few people that I know that deserve everything that comes to you. You've been a caregiver to children for most of your life, and you've done well by them. And I'm so proud to see how you have achieved your goal. Congratulations. Howie, I am so proud to have seen you achieve your goal and the goals that you have set forth for the children that you've taught. Congratulations, and I wish you a happy retirement.
So I met Howard back in 1983 as a freshman at Hudson Valley Community College. Just as a very small, tight-knit group of young African-American brothers attending the school at that time. And we just kind of met and started vibing and just clicked from day one. The influence that Howard had on my life personally was to always have an open mind, to always see the other side of the story. If you've ever had a conversation with Howard, you know that he's always going to give you the different perspective. And in giving you that perspective, it makes you think about, just life in general and a broader picture of things. So that's one of the greatest impacts he's had on my life. Ja, as I call him affectionately, I just want to say, brother, I am so proud of you. You did a wonderful job, and I thank you for the impact that you've had on so many young lives. And I just know that for you, it was never just about coaching the sports, it was about mentoring the lives. And I know that even though you're quote-unquote retiring, that you're going to go on and mentor in another vineyard. So I love you, brother, and very proud of you. God bless you.
Leader, competitor, athlete, coach, mentor, so many things, educator. That's to name a few. How Coach Langley has impacted on my life is I can't even describe the many different areas, whether it's advice with just regular life or education, goals, of course football-wise, leadership, and just how to live my life properly in a way that can help mold the next generation. Also, he's given me lots of advice as far as being a father, so it's been great to take his advice on multiple levels. Coach Langley, I love you. I'm very happy to be here to celebrate you. You've had a wonderful career. You've molded many lives, not just myself, but countless human beings. And this isn't goodbyes. It's just wish you many more years of molding lives and being invested in today's youth. And I wish you the best. I hope you enjoy whatever comes next.
I mean, where can I start? Since day one I met Coach Langley, he's been the same person, very approachable. And honestly, it's because of him I'm an educator myself, So there's not too many of us minorities in the DOE. So watching him teach, his approach as a coach, as a leader, as an educator, I simply had the urge to teach and become an educator. Simply just starting off with basic conversation, and he was always open to, give me the idea and the spark. So that developed a friendship even back when I was in high school. And, honestly, he's a very influential person, and it's because of him I'm in the position that I'm in today. So I have, it's a blessing to be in the presence of a man like Coach Langley, and I'm glad to say that he is a friend of mine. Coach, I just want you to enjoy your retirement. You got a long life ahead of you. You're a great person. Thank you so much for everything, and keep doing what you're doing, man. God bless you.
Well, the impact that Coach Langley had on my life is we went to school or college together. I'm also a track coach like himself, and we're actually fraternity brothers. We've shared intimate details in regards to our married life, and it's been a huge impact for each of us. He's helped me, I've helped him, and he's been a huge blessing. I'm glad I'm here with the opportunity to be able to share in his retirement. Well, Howard, what I'd like to tell you is to continue to be a blessing in the children's lives that you've been impacting. You're going to be going to another state, and when you do, continue that same impact in those kids' lives, because your journey's not done. Continue doing what you're doing.
I met Coach Langley my sophomore year of high school. My best friend was one of his football players, but he always thought we were dating. So that was how we started our relationship. Then I had him for gym, and if we had to walk the track, I was always walking the track having a conversation with him. And we just kind of kept this relationship until even now, after high school, so many years. He's been such an influential person in my life. I would say blessed, but he's agnostic and doesn't believe in that. So I'm very fortunate to have met him and have somebody like him in my corner. Langley, I know your retirement is gonna bring so many great things, so stop coaching and start living.
Coach Langley was one of the best coaches I've ever had. Like, he taught me a lot. He told me how to really be tough and like how to just prepare myself for what life throws at you. It was one thing that he did for me that I would never ever forget. It was the time that like, it was my last year playing football, and it was my last game of the season, and I got into a physical altercation with one of the teammates, and I got ejected from the game. And I was not supposed to play the following game. And the following game was literally the first playoff game of the season. So it's like, I played a big role in the team because, like I said, it was my senior year and I played a big position. And since I got ejected from that game, I was not supposed to play that following game. But Langley reached out to whoever he was supposed to reach out to, I guess the PSL people, the head of the league, and he wrote them a detailed letter explaining to them what I meant to the team and pretty much like what the refs saw and the mistake that I made, and pretty much like reversed their call on me, which was me not supposed to play for that game. He upheld that penalty that was my suspension of that first round game. I'm a little nervous right now, but just remembering it and thinking about it, it was really amazing. So with that being said, I was able to play another game, one final game. Like that game that I played, which was a Kennedy game, was not my last game of the season, because even though I got ejected, he was able to speak to them and allow me to play that following game, which I got ejected from, which just really meant a lot to me, because even though the season ended with that game, I was able to play, and I know I gave it my all. We lost maybe by like 2 points. I think the score ended 24-26, and I don't know if I'm taking too long, but that was something that really, really impacted me that I would never forget. So thank you, Coach Langley. Thank you for that. Listen, Coach, don't stop coaching, man. You an incredible coach, and I feel like you could keep on impacting people out there the same way you impacted me.
I met, and I'm going to say Howard, because he was a coach to my daughter, a mentor, a father figure. So I met him when I volunteered to actually be part of the football activities, where I helped to be there after Saturday. So that's how I knew him. But he has been a role model for my daughter, stepping in to be the father figure. So for me, I had to be here today to just show my respect and honor the contribution he has made in that role. I would say, Howard, enjoy. I know this is not retirement, this is just maybe a slowdown, but have fun. Champagne is on me.
Langley has been our assistant coach for track. I graduated in 2014. And he has been like a good influence in my life, you know. He's encouraged me, he's supported me, and he's really like a good father figure to me. I just want to wish him all the best. Congrats on retiring, and I love you very much.
I met Coach Langley in high school when I was just a freshman, and he was kind of like our side assistant, kind of our side coach for track and field. He was always a mentor, helped us with homework, life, track, everything from A to Z, and we really did appreciate his efforts and him being there and just being that supportive role for us.
Haven't seen you in a couple years, but I'm glad to see you now. Miss you, love you, wish you the best. Say hi to the family. Yes.
Coach Langley had a big influence on my life. He was a second coach to me, so he was also a father figure to me. I could go to him about anything that I was going through in school with track and more. Coach Langley, I'm going to really miss you. He was like a second dad to me. I love everything that you've done for me and my team and everything. And I just hope that you have a great retirement and love you.
Oh, Coach Langley is wonderful. Well, let me say this. He was a blessing in my life. I graduated in '98, so when I graduated, Coach Langley was a part of the girls' track team. I know I don't look it, but it's true. But if it wasn't, Langley saw something in me that I didn't see. So I wish, as an adult, I would have saw those things in myself as a child. But if it wasn't for Langley, I would never took my SAT. He picked me up, made me take it, drove me to the test building, paid for my ticket to go to college. So that's the main reason why, essentially, I was in school. Of course, I graduated and successful, but he was so cool, calm, and collective. You could go to him for anything. He was just like, it was him and Johnson when I was in school. So Johnson was like night and Langley was like day. So he was always smiling, just always positive. And how I grew up and where I came from, everything was so negative. So it was just like a light for me. And I just love him for that. And I'm forever grateful. And I'm just so happy he's about to be retired and living his life and doing big things. I'm just so happy for him. And I don't want to cry, so I ain't going to say too much or get too deep. But I just love Langley. And I just wish him the best for him and his family. So that's it.
Coach Langley happens to be
my actual first cousin and became my coach later on in life. He is my favorite cousin. He is a reliable, honest man of integrity. He always tells me the truth when I don't want it or need it, but he's always so honest, and I love him for it. All throughout my life, you know, my dad passed at an early age, and he kind of took over as that role model in my life. You know, he was always well put together, went to college, joined a fraternity, graduated college, became a teacher. He's always kind of followed the right steps in life, and I've always wanted to mirror the things that he has done. I respect him so much as a man, as a father, as a coach, just as a person. He is a great individual. So for me, he has molded my life. I have definitely tried to do my best in life because, you know, I know that I always have to kind of report back to him. So, you know, I've always tried to do the right things in life because I know that he is kind of watching, you know, as an influencer in my life. I love you, Langley. You know the bond that we share. You've been a great person in my life, a great influence, and I wish you all the best in this next phase of your life.
He's a good human being, a big heart, and reliable. I've known him since college, and we're fraternity brothers. So, Howard is always very positive. He always looks at things for the silver lining, you know, never panics, even-keeled, very even-keeled, right? And he's always willing to help. I would say, Howard, enjoy your retirement. You've done an excellent job in the New York City school system. There are plenty of young men and women who you've influenced and had a positive impact on their lives. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next because I know you're not going to sit on your laurels and you'll find something to do to still have some more of an impact on others. But enjoy life. You deserve it.
Coach Langley is a very charismatic, smooth, and down-to-earth man that was able to get through to me at a very rough point in my life, and it saved my life. I was hard-headed, volatile, a very risk-taking individual, and he was my high school coach. Played football, I ran track. Senior year, I threw it away, and I was back on the block doing what you do on the block, and he made it his business to come find me and to make sure I was aware of what was going on. And for that reason, you know, it's very hard for a man of my constitution to listen to anybody. And because Coach Langley and I made the same stuff, and, you know, his solid but yet understanding approach to me was able to get through to me and created great opportunities for me today. Coach, thank you for saving my life. I've leveraged going to college so much that it saved me from life in prison. I'm back today, and I'm helping people out, just as you taught me that it takes a village, especially coming from environments that we came from. I'm thankful for you being an inspirational figure, a motivational figure, and where my father fell short, you picked up the slack and you helped me to complete the puzzle to get me out of the hood so I could head for the hills. Today I'm very successful, and I attest that to you every time I figure out how much I leverage going to college. So thank you for never giving up on me. Just to let you know, the races that we ran on August 10th, 1997, I respect you for that because you are much older than me. We won't talk about the record, we just call it 3 ties. That wasn't a race for anything but respect and love. And I must say, 20-something years later, I love you, brother, and may God continue to inspire you and to hold your family down as you held so many other families down. And we thank you because we know that it takes a village. Blessings, brother.
Me and Langley, we go back like car seats, like way back like 76, 77. He went to Clinton, I went to James Monroe, but a lot of our friends hung out together. We played football a lot after college. Him and I coached together for about 12, 13 years. He coached both of my sons. You know, we call him the Obama of the PSAL. And he's just a guy that, even me and being a little older than him, every time something come up, he's always the problem solver. You know what I'm saying? You always go, let's see what Langley got to say. You know, he got all the answers. Some good, some bad, but he got an answer. You know, great guy. Yo, Langley, man, enjoy your retirement. Life is short. Do whatever comes to mind and just have fun. Peace and love. Love you always, my brother.
I played for the rival school, for Kennedy High School, football. I had heard about Coach Langley before I met Coach Langley because the legend has it that Coach Langley started our dynasty of football at Kennedy High School. And he had basically broke our hearts back in like '82 when Coach Langley was in high school and played for Clinton High School. He scored a game-winning touchdown with like 6 seconds left. And that's the legend of Langley. I never met Coach Langley until I became a head coach at Kennedy and he became the head coach at Clinton. And then we met, and then we still had that rivalry thing going. And then something happened at my school with me, and that man right there reached out his hand despite the fact that we really didn't know me like that, and basically became one of my best friends. Yeah, I love him. He's my brother. He's my big brother, and I love him. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for that man. Coach Langley, I love you, man. You've done more for me than I could ever put into words. You deserve this night and more. And hopefully, you feel whole. And I wish you nothing but the best, my brother. I love you.
Now, he's not that much older, but he's older than me. But he taught me so much by spending this time with him. He had these sayings he would say all the time. But we used to battle. I'm talking about, we used to battle about sports. Because if you know Howard, he knows how to argue. This dude is the #1. I swear, he could battle, argue. And he used to talk to me all the time. And you could say, listen, the stool is black. He'd be like, no, it's like off black, it's grayish. And you'd say, hey, yo, and he'd say, and his famous saying, when I met him, he said, listen, I said, you love to argue, bro. And he said, I don't argue to be right. I argue to get it right. And I swear to God, and I swear to you, when he announced his retirement, because Howard always got to be formal and stuff and things, he was like, and remember, don't argue to be right, argue to get it right. And that stayed with me, actually, for real, to be honest with you. So, Howard, without further ado, I just want to tell my little story. I'm just a DJ, by the way. Nobody can or anything like that. All right, but I'm not the MC tonight, which I'm very, very happy about today. So I'm going to introduce your MC for tonight. Give it up for my man, Prince. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together right here.
I was thinking that I was going to get a theme song or something nice to walk into, but the DJ did not do his job. So Mr. DJ, please, can you please play something nice for me to walk into, please? Because I'm from Africa and I feel like I should walk into something majestic. Do we agree with that analysis? Thank you very much. So Mr. DJ, if you can, please.
Here we go. Ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. If you are here to see Coach Langley, make some noise. Woof, woof, woof. I didn't know the Omegas were in the building tonight. Some people, she said, thank goodness. I'm scared of those guys. I don't really talk like that sometimes, guys. This is my real accent. I only talk like that when I know immigration is not around. I feel like I'm with family now. I'm very comfortable. Or maybe somebody's in disguise as immigration. I was just joking. But yes, I go by the name of Young Prince. I attended DeWitt Clinton High School. That's how I know. And we have anybody that went to DeWitt Clinton High School? Okay. Now. Okay. Of the 4 years I spent in that school, I didn't know we had a theme song like that. That's very amazing. Somebody say, wow. Everybody looks so nice. Turn to the person next to you, say, wow. You look good. Some people, you have not seen each other in over 10 years, 15 years. We thank God. No, I love, you know, being around places like this because it's celebration, a lot of love in the room. Coach Langley is definitely an inspiration to many people in here. I always say that, you know, I never played a minute of football for this man, but I was his favorite athlete. Can you confirm that, please, for everybody in here? God bless you. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a very tall guy, so I played basketball. Coach Langley dashed my basketball dreams at age 17. He said, dude, you're not gonna play professional basketball. I said, Coach Langley, you're a dream killer. And I'm going to show him. He said, dude, trust me. You're not gonna be a basketball. They would have looked at you already. You're not gonna make it there. I said, so what do you think? I said, guy, comedy is your passion. Can you see where I am today? I asked him to pick me on some lottery numbers. Now he doesn't know anything. But without further ado, I want to introduce the man of the hour. He has a special presentation himself. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Howard Langley. Let's go ahead and give him a standing ovation, ladies and gentlemen. The man, the myth, the legend, Howard Langley, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep that round of applause going.
So, you're not supposed to get nervous in front of friends and family, right? And I normally don't. But I'm a little bit anxious tonight because when you plan an event, you don't know who's going to come, right? You just kind of hope that people show up. So for the past month, I've been having nightmares. The first night, it was a stadium full of people, and it was great. And the next night, there was nobody there, right? But after a while, it became evident that the real folks were going to check in. The people that really had an extra sense of love or care or whatever it was. But once some names started trickling in, then I started to get a little bit more sleep. So I appreciate everyone that's here tonight. This is a bit overwhelming for me because there's just nothing but love in the room. I want you guys to know that everybody's related, everybody's family, no matter how we're connected, because you chose to spend $50 and 4 hours with me. And I don't take that for granted, so I hope you have a good time. So I wanted to start the night off by going back to the beginning, because that's really where it comes from for all of us, okay? So I'm gonna give a little bit more of a speech, I guess, at the end of the night. I don't write anything down, it goes from the heart. But I wanted to start it off correctly by acknowledging a few folks. And so, for me, I came to the United States in 1973, 8 years old. I was ripped from a beautiful island of lush green trees and great food and brought to this place called the Bronx. Nothing but concrete, cold winters that I never thought existed on this planet, and a lot of people didn't look like me. It was crazy. But I found a sanctuary, and that sanctuary was school. Back in those days, things were a little bit different. And I was a fortunate one to be able to be placed in a situation that I was really happy with and I was able to go to on a daily basis. If you grew up in the Bronx, if you know anything about the Bronx, if you look back at film, the Bronx in the 70s and 80s was basically a war zone. So anyone that made it out, they deserve every piece of credit that they can get, all right? It was not easy. But I found a sanctuary, and that sanctuary was called PS 26. That's right. Okay. Started off on Burnside Avenue, and back in those days, you walked to school, no matter how old you were. Okay, we used to walk from Harrison Avenue, so you're looking at about 4 or 5 blocks. We were 8 years old. 9 years old, 7, right? And some mornings we got jumped, some mornings we didn't, but we made it, and once we got in the building, we were safe. So in elementary school, teachers back then were a lot different. Okay, like they taught you as if you were their own children. That's right. And you know, I'm coming towards retirement now, and I've seen how the system has changed. But I wouldn't have been who I became if it wasn't for those early days. So I want to start the evening off by acknowledging some of my former teachers. I was waiting a little bit longer for my 3rd and 4th grade teachers. They're not here. Hopefully they'll walk in. They promised to come. Now, I'm old and I'm saying 3rd and 4th grade teachers, so I'm just saying. The respectful word is elders, okay? So my 3rd and 4th grade teachers, we had what we called an open classroom, and it was pretty much like this. It was sort of like a living room, and it was 2 combined classes, and the teachers were actually husband and wife, okay? It was Elliot and Mona Whites, and I actually have a classmate from that class here tonight. Luke, please stand up and say hello. Okay. So you know it's real when you have your 3rd grade classmate with you, okay? She became an educator as well, and we ran into each other, and we've been friends for years. But Elliot and Mona were a married couple. And when we went to class, and we went to school, it was like going home every day. So you left home and you went home. It was laid out like this. We didn't really use a blackboard. Everything was done in centers and in group settings. And it really had a calming effect on us, and we learned how to communicate well. We did everything that you would do in a classroom, but it was just a different sense of self. That had a major, major impact on me. I saw a husband and wife work together and communicate together, and it gave me a sense of what could be.
Because you can make one little smiling kid continue to smile for the rest of his life.
So the next golden apple goes to someone who's not expecting it. But I'm a fortunate person in that everything that I've always wanted in life, it appears. It really does. So I have no worries. If I want something, I get it. And that's not an arrogant statement. That's just when you give to the universe, you give. Okay? And the timing for me is always right on point. So I was confused because as you get older, you start to think of things, but it's not in the right sequence. But I've always asked where this person was. And the reason is, he had an impact on me that I couldn't really verbalize it or put it together until now. And what happened was, just 2 weeks ago, I got a phone call, and it was him. Okay, someone I was looking for my entire life. What he did at that time in 5th grade, was every Friday he came into the classroom, and he pulled out a group of children, and we talked. And basically at that time it was therapy. And it allowed us to express what we were going through in the neighborhood, what we were going through at home, what we were feeling. And that was huge for me because I needed that at that time. So a lot of what was implanted in me at that time is what all of you have received, okay? And like I said, when it's time, the universe gives it back. And fortunately, he came back into my life, and that person is Jonathan Gray.
Yeah. Wow. This was truly by accident. I'm still doing what I did back in 19 whatever. I'm now teaching counselors. which was the next step after working in the roller skating rink on Jerome Avenue, working in other schools. I'm now teaching master's level students how to be counselors. And it's gotten very much in the box. And I tell them what they do when the door is closed. Because they'll believe us, they won't believe them. And when I was speaking to Jose, and Jose Rodriguez, now how many Jose Rodriguezes do you know in your life? Right? Do a face-to-face with a group of new counselors from all over the United States, from all the different states, and I always ask a former student to call in to talk about the impact that counseling has on children as adults. When my kids call in, even though some of them are grandparents now, which are, they're older than my grandchildren, and said, I told you not to start so young, but they didn't listen. But I'm going to ask you to call in and talk to them about the impact that counseling has on kids. Because today you can't close the door. You can't hug a kid. You can't give him a piece of chocolate. I still do it. As I tell them, I would have been in jail today for what I did years ago. One of the kids, actually another Clinton, by the way, I'm a Clinton graduate. Right? 1968, and the man who parks his car next to me was one of my English teachers. He's now 90-something years old. And he was probably one of the best teachers Bill Clinton ever had. But yeah, my father was a Clinton graduate too, for that matter. I don't know if he ever graduated, but he should have. Anyway, what we did back then is what I tell my students today. You have to do it again. You have to tell those kids you believe in them. Do what you have to do. You're their mother, you're their father, you're their brother, you're their sister. You're an educator. Love them, empower them, tell them to change the system, which is what this man did, right? I think Mr. Prezioso was the football coach back in the day, right? Yeah. He was a scary guy. But I was not on the football team. But I just want to say thank you, and it's been like an honor just to be here and to be in touch again.
All right. So here she is, my beautiful daughter, Kaya Langley. Okay. And again, remember, everything in life is teaching. Okay, so if you give back, you get it back. So Kaya is here to say a few kind words to her Golden Apple recipient. All right? Auntie Marlene, she's a little nervous.
So this lady was my first teacher, and I just wanted to thank her for teaching me everything, basically, and babysitting me, and being the first person to care about me and learn about me and teach me everything, and maturing for me, so thank you.
Thank you, Marlene. Marlene Koch, you are the recipient. So what happened here is, this was her first teacher. After she left, we call her Auntie Marlene, but after she left Marlene, then we knew that she was going to be an excellent student, and right after this, she's going to tell us where she's going to college and where my money will be going to for the next few years.
Let's have another big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Langley and that infectious smile. That's the first thing you will see when you walk into gym. Whether it is raining or snowing, he's always smiling. I've never seen Coach Langley mad in my life. Maybe on the football field. On the football field. I've seen him say some things to football players that are not family friendly. But we won't talk about that right now. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is all about Kaya. Let's make some noise for her right now. And she has been accepted into some prestigious institutions. I'm gonna run some of them off right now. Clemson, Florida State, Tennessee, University of Miami, Auburn, University of Georgia. That's it for now. That's it for now. Let's have a big round of applause for her. So, are you ready to reveal which school you are going to?
Yeah.
All right. Let's have a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, let me ask you. What are we hearing? Auburn? Let them know, Kaya, let them know. Alabama! Miami!
So I decided to go to the University of Miami.
In an African household, there's only one acceptable grade. A+. If you come home and you get a B, do you know what that B stands for? No, well, maybe in the Caribbean home is beating. Jesus, I'm scared. But B, in an African home, that's below average. If you come home and you get a C, that stands for cannot come home. For some reason, if you get a D on your test and you bring it home, Jesus, I'm feeling the spirit. That D stands for don't even think of coming home. And for some strange reason, God forbid, if you bring an F to that house, that F stands for find another family. Let's have a big round of applause for all the excellence in the building right now. We have a lot of excellence in the building. We have people that graduated from DeWitt High School. Make some noise. McDonough is in the house. Oh, man. Is that Coach Eaton as well? No? No, it's like the Roosevelt. Okay, oh, we have Roosevelt here. Roosevelt here. Yeah. I'm not really a big fan of Roosevelt's, but you know, Coach Langley says you're good, so you're good. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have some more comedy, some more laughs. I want to introduce to you somebody that's very talented, that's guaranteed to make you laugh tonight. I need you to make some noise for Edgar as he comes up. Edgar Ruiz, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Edgar as he comes up. Let's keep that round of applause going.
What's going on, people? You guys look beautiful tonight. Thank you, man. I want to thank Coach Howard Langley for giving me this opportunity to come up and bless the stage. This is actually a real comedy club, man. This is legit over here. I should have probably did some research before I got up here. Before I started to get into the jokes, one night I was talking to my wife. I was like, yo, I think I'm gonna go to this Langley thing. Something's telling me to go to it. And she was like, yeah, you should go. I was like, all right. The very next day, Langley hits me up on Facebook. He goes, yo, I got a proposition for you. Call me. I'm like, uh-oh. What is this about? So I called him. He's like, hey, I heard you're doing comedy. And I was like, yeah, I'm a baby in this day right now. He goes, I want you to do comedy for me. I'm like, oh, wow. I don't know if I want to do that. But I was just telling my wife last night, so I guess it's the world saying, yo, you gotta do it. So I'm here, so I appreciate it, Coach Howard Langley. Howard. I had to practice Howard. I didn't even know that was your name. I've been calling him Coach Langley for like 20 years. Like I haven't suited up for Clinton in 20 years. Why am I so afraid of Coach Langley? Why am I so afraid of you? You can't make me run laps. Shit. Anywho, if you guys didn't hear the name, my name is Edgar Ruiz Jr. You can't get any more Puerto Rican than that. I apologize to those of you that thought I was some sort of Italian. I'm not. Straight Boricua from the island. I'm Puerto Rican, so you know what that means, right? The Ruiz Jr. in my name was the last thing my dad gave me. I'm lying. He gave me a stepmom, too. I was born in Cabo Rojo, Puerto Rico, para que tú lo sepas. Yeah. But I was raised in the Boogie Down Bronx. Oh, damn. Somebody's getting robbed tonight. Damn. I love the Bronx, man. We represent hard, don't we? It's like we throwing up X's, like that's Wakanda, don't be lying. Throwing up X's. Sometimes we celebrate it a little too hard, though. Sometimes, like, we like to admit to things in conversation that we really shouldn't be proud of. Like I was talking to my boy Carlos, and he was like, yeah, I know how to shoot a gun. I'm from the Bronx. I was like, no, that is such a negative stereotype. Carlos Mendez, Puerto Rican super from the Bronx. 3 baby mamas. That's horrible. Negative. First of all, second of all, you're holding the gun upside down. It's a problem. It's such a negative stereotype. Not everybody in the Bronx buys and owns a gun. A lot of those guns are stolen. Yeah. I love the Bronx, man. I love the Bronx. I just recently celebrated my 10-year anniversary with my wife. Don't clap it up. She beats the crap out of me. She hurts me a lot, man. But actually, she graduated from DeWitt Clinton High School in 2000. I graduated in '99. I actually have a huge crush on her because she was in the Macy's Einstein program. I heard you guys are really good cheaters. That's what I heard. I don't know, right? She told me, she's really smart. Like, she graduated in the top of her class. Like her GPA was in the top 20. And I was like, oh, shit, for real? What's the GPA? I was a really bad student. I'm gonna let you know. I'm happy I graduated. I was so proud of her, though, man. She came to the United States from the Dominican Republic at the age of 9. And the fact that she survived that's it, end of story. But no. She came from the Dominican Republic. That's fucked up. She came from the Dominican Republic at the age of 9, not knowing a word of English. Graduated magna cum laude from Columbia University. Yeah, clap it up, class of 2000 right there. Meanwhile, I've been here since 1982. And I can't spell for shit. I'm sorry. I can't spell for nothing, yo. Nothing. N-U-T-I-N, nothing. It's horrible, man. I didn't even know how to write magna cum laude when I wrote that stuff up. I was like, magna cum? C-U-M? Nah, son, that ain't cool. That ain't cool. I know cool when I see it. That ain't it. That ain't it. Yo, I can't spell for nothing though, for real. Like I can't barely type up a sentence without the red squiggly line cock blocking me. Always judging me. Hey, you misspelled spelling. You know your wife settled for you, right? She did settle for me, don't feel bad for me. She settled. My wife could have done so much better in life than me. She can do so much better than me. Like, my wife is an executive director on Wall Street. Yeah. She makes 6 times more money than I do, 6 times. She makes so much more money than me. She claims me as dependent on her taxes. I know there's somebody in here like, no, spouses can't claim each other. Look, it's an exaggeration, all right, of how broke I am, all right? It's just an exaggeration, I appreciate it. I love my wife, man, she's dope, man. But she could be an asshole sometimes. Yo, for real, there you go, she can be a jerk. Yo, my wife, look, I'm a mental health counselor during the day, and I'm a comedian by night, so you know I'm broke as fuck, all right? But my wife thinks like what I do is a hobby. I mean, the mental health part, this is definitely a hobby. Like, I went to school for what I do. I'm a mental health counselor. Like, I got a bachelor's. I could barely spell bachelor's, but I got one, and that's the most important part. But like, the other day I was getting ready for work, and she was leaving to the door. She was like, "Hey, babe, have a great day. Have fun." Like, yo, I'm a suicide counselor. Like, what the fuck? No. Oh, man. We just recently found out we're having a second child. I mean, she's crazy because she had one child with me, and now she wants to have another child with me. Like, I know she loves me because, like, at any moment, my Puerto Rican genes might kick in, and I disappear like an Avenger and shit. It's fucked up. For those of you that don't have multiple children, the conversation of having the second child and the first child are completely different. Like, when you have the first child, when you plan it anyway, and you plan the first child, it's like, oh my God, I love you, and you love me, like, let's start a family. Like, yeah, all right, awesome, let's do it. The second child is more like, oops, my bad. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I didn't know my wife in Clinton. That's probably a good thing because I didn't get bullied in Clinton. I was like 300 pounds, all right? I suffered a fate worse than bullying. I got put in the friend zone a lot. Like, I suffered the friend zone. Like, if there was rankings of how good I was at getting in the friend zone, I'd be a master Jedi of that shit. I was the Yoda, but of not fucking. Guys, real quick, Star Wars references. Quick way to get into the friend zone. The quickest, all right? Anywho, I've been with my wife for 10 years, and I want to tell you that I've never cheated on her. Physically, I never cheated on her. Mentally, oh God, I haven't cheated on my wife because I love her. And I think she's my soulmate. But that would be a lie. The real reason I don't cheat on her is because she makes 6 times more money than I do. I mess around, I go get homeless real quick. Like, instant homeless. But anyway, look, real quick before I leave the stage, I want to thank Howard Langley. Again, Howard, I gotta practice that. I want to thank Coach Langley for giving me this opportunity. I want to share one of my favorite memories with Coach Langley. When I got to Clinton, I really sucked at football. Like, I grew up in the Bronx, so the only thing I knew about football was, on my block, the touchdown was the sewer cap, and the other touchdown was the crack pipe by the bumper. That was all I knew when I came into Clinton. So I really was a bad football player. I knew nothing. And I was so bad that they gave me 2 years of junior varsity. You guys really know about that. I see Hassan laughing back there, so I'm laughing. Too hard. 2 years of junior varsity. That second year, I was like Lawrence Taylor I was the man in junior varsity, like 260 pounds just running through these 13-year-olds, like. So with that came really big, great expectations my junior year when I got to varsity. Like I even got this, there was this big kid named LeVar, he had number 76, he was like 9 feet tall, like he was like the man. They gave me his number. That's just a lot to deal with as a junior. And with that came the biggest fall of my life, horrible junior year. I got the GD award, which pretty much, God damn it, was like, God damn it every day. This kid is killing me. He knows, I got yelled at every day. Like, he didn't yell at me. It wasn't him doing the yelling, but I got yelled at every day. Long story short, I came back senior year, I studied my plays. I didn't hit the weights as hard as I could have, but I ran a lot. I was a beast running. I was a beast at it. And I worked hard at it. And then we had a bad day at practice my senior year. And it was summer camp, right before the season started. And the next day after that bad practice, Langley came into the locker room with a bunch of index cards. And he was like, he gave all the kids like, I need you to put two goals down that you want to accomplish this season. And I was like, I want to lose my virginity. No. I was mad at that. My first goal was do my job so I won't get yelled at. And he came, I was a starter at the time. When you big and you suck, you get a lot of chances, all right? If you small and you suck, you ain't gonna play. But when you big, they give you chances. They're like, here, go play, you're big, go ahead. So I was a starter, so he came up to me, and he actually read it in front of me. And he read the first one, you know, do my job, don't get yelled at. And he looked up with a half smile, he was just like, you know this is gonna be hard, right? I was like, okay. And then the second one was, he was looking at it, he read it, the second was, I want to be named team captain. And then he looked up, he had like the Grinch That Stole Christmas smile. Like, yo, you can see like dimples on top that you didn't know he had. Yo, it was crazy. And like, he didn't say much, but I know his smile was like, this ain't happening. This ain't happening. You know that ain't happening. But it's sometimes the things that you don't say that inspire us. And he didn't have to say that I sucked because I knew I did. And look, I was a big joke and I had to make up for that. So I bust my ass. The first game came, I was like Khalil Mack that first game. I got like 3 sacks, like yo, I was the man in that game. And the second game of the year, I was named captain. Yeah, I was named captain. I don't really remember it too much. I just remember our head coach yelling at it right before we walked out the game, and it was like the most, like, it was one of the best feelings in the world. It was like the top 3 things I ever worked as hard to get to. It was like, number 3 was being captain of the football team in Clinton, which is a huge thing. I don't know if you guys really know that. It's huge. Number 2 is graduating college, because not a lot of men are graduating college these days. And number 1 was losing my virginity. Like, yo, I worked at it, it was hard. But then that game happened, and right before the game started, Langley comes up to me, he comes close enough for me to say, yo, I got number 2 on my index card. And then he just gives me this smile, he goes, all right, don't mess it up, and walks away from me. I was like, oh shit, that's right, I can mess it up. And you gotta continue working hard at when you get there, you gotta keep working hard at it. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come up here.
Yes, please speak. Where you look good, real black seven, you look good.
I don't want to hold this. Hi guys, this is strange. Hi everybody. My name is Ara. Before I start, I wanted to thank Langley's wife and daughter. I want to thank them because there was a lot of nights he came home really late, and I know that. Kai, I want to thank you because I call your father Dad. I call him Dad like he's my father. And I know you're his only daughter, but you're my sister. So I want to take that out of the way. For those who, a lot of you don't know me, so like I said, I call Langley Dad. He was my teacher at Clinton. I graduated 10 years ago, and I come from a household that my grandmother raised me. So my father wasn't around, my mother wasn't around. And I've been blessed to have people in my life who filled that role, who have mothers and fathers and people who just poured into me what I needed. And I had Langley as a coach. I was really, really lazy. Not a coach, a teacher. I was lazy. I didn't do nothing in gym, nothing. I sat and made excuses every day. Oh my gosh. He couldn't stand me. He was like, get up, go walk. I was like, I don't know, I got asthma, I can't walk. He's like, you can't walk? No, I can't walk. But it was something, he never pushed me. He understood that there was something I was going through. There was a reason why I didn't want to participate. He started to talk to me and just talk to me. And from him, I learned there's a difference between talking to someone and talking at someone. He has fed into my life so much. I became the first in my family to graduate college. I went to college because of Langley. I walked into his office and I said, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to apply to school. I don't know what this means. I don't know anything. He was like, let's just start. What do you want to do? I was like, I don't know. I don't know what this, I don't have no money. He was like, worry about that later. He pulled up CW Post and showed me the campus online. I was like, oh, this looks really nice. He's like, all right, let's apply. The tuition? Let me tell you, I couldn't afford that. He was like, apply anyway. We applied together in his office to Post. I graduated Post.
Better go, girl.
I graduated December of 2013. Langley came and picked me up my last day of school. He is the father that I always needed. And I'm here today because of him. I now work in a career. I work in preventive care. I mentor children. I work with families. And I say that because he wasn't just a teacher or a coach. He was a life coach. He taught life. He didn't just teach a subject. And I've been talking to him about how much he gives to people and how much he mentors and he counsels. And he's like, I'm not a counselor. I'm not a counselor. And I'm like, you are. You do it every day. So I say that to say that he has made a big impact on me, and I thank you.
It all starts in gym class, I'm telling you. And I don't know what it is about Coach Langley, but he always just appeals to all the stubborn kids, like all of us, like, because he speaks our language, you know? Like I told you people, he told me, dude, you're not gonna be a basketball player. I told you I was working hard to prove this man wrong. Eventually I got to college, I became a college athlete. Had my uniform, I was playing. I came back, I said, Coach Langley, guess who's playing college basketball? He said, who? You? I said, give me, and I'm gonna take it further. Dude, you're not gonna be a basketball player. I said, I'm going to show you, Coach Langley, who is going to be who. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host for the night. I have never played a second of professional basketball, but I've been on hundreds and thousands of stages thanks to Coach Langley. Let's have a big round of applause for him. Okay, wait. Right now, I'm in confusion. Is this the open mic line? You two, you want to speak, Coach McDonough? Okay, yes, because this is the coolest guy in America right here. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you one of my favorite teachers of all time, Coach McDonough. Big round of applause for him. Coolest man in America.
Okay. I worked with Coach Langley for about 8 or 9 years, and then I caught him again on the backside of his career on his last year. And the best thing Coach Langley told me, as being a young teacher, he said, don't act as you think a teacher should act. make yourself a teacher. Be you and make yourself a teacher. Don't think what you should be. Make your personality a teacher. And that's something I never forgot. 14 years in a DOE, and here I am, and it's because of that. So thank you.
Mr. DJ, please. How do you know that they are all single? How do you know? Mr. DJ, you are walking on thin ice.
I mean it's a lady song, right? You don't have to be single.
Please be careful.
All right, good night, everyone. We are here as a family, and that is true. This is the track family, the girls' track and field team. We are officially Langley's ladies, is what I just wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to express to you, specifically on this night. You and I always have wonderful conversations throughout the years, and I'm not.
Listen, if anybody wants to cry tonight, cry. Me too, I cried inside. Cry.
No, but in being honest with you, have been one of the very few people in my life who have taken the time to really understand me. And I thank you for that. There are no words that I can offer you to show my appreciation. Okay? When I met Coach Langley, I actually came to play basketball in Clinton. And I ended up, I showed up with Jordans on, and they took me out in Jordans, and I ran with these two beautiful ladies here the first time. And that's how I started my journey, and I paid for college and masters and on and on and on. So, one of the greatest things that you actually told me is to not be confined to space, right? And time. And to understand that where we are, the stuff that we were able to accomplish during that period of time, don't let that be the highlight of your life. And that always stuck with me. It stuck, and I took off running, and I haven't stopped running.
Yes.
So thank you. We love you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you so much.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Lakeisha. Mr. Langley already know what it is between us. Everybody has familiar stories with Langley, right? He's such a great guy. But my 4 years at Clinton, I became a Jamaican. So I know all the 90s Jamaican songs and Jamaican dance moves. Don't test me, okay? I'm officially Jamaican. But if it wasn't for Langley, a lot of us wouldn't be where we are today. He was so cool, so collective. He always gave you good advice. It was always real. And I don't want to cry because I'm a thug, so it's not. That's just how it works. But I just want to say, for real, from the bottom of my heart, I love you. I thank you for everything. The car rides home. I don't know how you do it, because I'd be like, Ronald, I'd be like, who you bringing home? Not today. But somehow y'all make it work, and it's a blessing. I'm just so happy, and I love you guys, all of y'all. Big up. Much respect. Much respect, because I'm Jamaican. Nadia can't talk because she's going to cry.
I'm Nadia. I can't cry. Just FYI, I have probably cried every single year.
Gonna cry.
While making a speech, but I do want to say that Langley, you are an inspiration. She's a baby. I'm still a baby. I'm emotional. I am also a therapist or a counselor.
Oh, yeah, and that too. I'm an educator as well, believe it or not. In my classroom, I do say son and yo to my students. We just rock like that. But when I first started teaching, I used to call Mr. Langley all the time because I live in Louisiana now. And I used to be like, oh my God, I can't teach this. They want me to pronounce words I don't even know. Lanyard, Louisiana Creole. I don't know this stuff. And he was like, they don't know you know. I was like, I got this. And his contagious smile, no lie, is the reason why I smile all the time. And everybody knows that. Even my students, when they come in, I always smile and greet them with a smile. So, big up, Langley.
Thank you. It's always positive with Langley. I've never felt, heard, or believed that he even could be, or even express negativity.
Yeah.
He's always been a friend. He's really a family member. You know, I don't speak to him every day, every week, every month, every year sometimes, but when we do speak, it's for hours, and it feels like it was yesterday, basically. So I do appreciate the fact that you're always who you are, you're true, and you take the time to care about people, and to care about me, my family, and just everybody around you. I love you, and I appreciate you.
All right. Well, I'm very happy to be here. As some of you may know or may not know, Howard is my actual cousin, first cousin.
Yes.
My beautiful auntie over there, and my dad are brothers and sisters. Give it up for my auntie. Yes, Auntie Marvin. What I'd like to say tonight to you is that I've never expressed this to you, but oh gosh. When my dad passed, right after that, I was entering high school, and Langley, I was going to the worst school in the Bronx, and Langley did everything in his power to get me into Clinton. And you know, at the time, you know, I was very unstable, going through so much stuff, but you know, he saw the best in me, and always have seen the best in me throughout everything in life. He gives me the advice that I don't want, but I need to hear. He's always, you know, although we go into our arguments and we have our little fights, you know, he's always 99% correct, because at one time, no. But 99% correct is great, you know, great accuracy, right? I just want to let you know that I love you very much. You are the best person that I know. You are the best man that I know. It's okay.
It's okay, Kiki.
You all love him. You all love him, right? We love you. Okay. One of you two?
Yeah.
Which one?
Both of us. Both of us.
Both of us together.
Both
All
of
right.
us together. Because we were always together. Yes. We're always together. Hi guys. So I'm Keisha and this is Nakia. We're class of '96. So we've been out of school for 23 years. And he's still resident. Right. Let me tell y'all something. I taught Langley everything he knows. He would come to me and say, Kiki, please share your knowledge. All lies. It was the other way around, as we all know. He is so compelling. Langley encouraged me to pursue so many things in life that he doesn't even know he's done, and put the battery in my back, always telling me, you can do it, don't listen to them, you got this. When I didn't believe it, but he did. And you need people like that in your life. And coming from the communities that we all came from, which was like, you know, the Bronx, whatever. We came from Jamaica, so we come from a third world country. She was from a third world country. She was from Koa. Koa Island is straight third world. And what Langley instilled in us is not only community and culture, as you can see, like, we're family. Yeah. Through and through. We all live all over the country now, and because he saw the light in us as young ladies coming up in this community that we came up in, we are what you see. So this is my best friend, Nakia. We've been best friends since we were 12 years old. Since high school. And Langley also nurtured our friendship in lots of ways, and I thank you for that. You've given me a sister when I have none. Well, I have plenty, but you know what I mean. Miss Washington, a testament, like, for real. I'll be like, you told her where you at? And he's like, it's all good.
Right, thank you for sharing him with us.
Thank you for sharing him with us.
Yeah.
And Miss Washington, you a jewel. You popped up to, I remember the day you rode up to Van Cortlandt Park in them cool shoes. We were like, she is so beautiful.
I'll be quick. Everyone has said it all before. I echo the very same thing. Langley's like a father figure. We really wouldn't be where, I wouldn't be where I am today. And there's much farther to go without Langley's support and literally blazing a path for us. And I feel like with Langley, he taught us the importance of discipline, because we were on the track team and he is a Sigma, right? Yeah. And so it was like we were pledging the membership intake process. So it was very much like discipline and hard work, but at the same time, he taught me how to not take myself so seriously and to relax. I feel like that's what I got from Langley. And yeah, love you so much. Thank you for being there.
Okay. All right. The comedian says, Mr. Prince says there's a line. And that's a testament. We are a line of our own, but there's also another line. And I like to think we started that line. Yeah. Right? But I remember meeting Langley years ago when I joined the DeWitt Clinton girls track team, Lady Governors. And I'll say this, everything everyone has said tonight is absolutely true. So then you say to yourself or think in your head, how in God's name did he have the time, the energy, the motivation to give so much to so many people in such a very touching and influential way? I can't even answer that question. Because tonight I was thinking about what Langley means to me. And just like everyone else up here, he has influenced my life in so many different ways. But Langley for me is a feeling. You know, like when you think of Langley, you're like, okay, you got the smile, you got the confidence, because Langley, when he's ready, he can strut. And he comes into the place and he owns it, you know? So when you're a young person just beginning high school and you're trying to find yourself and you're trying to see how you're supposed to be, there was Langley. And I call him Langley, and I hope, no disrespect, that's what he has been for me. Howard, Howie, I can't do that. It's Langley. But what I'm saying is, he helped us, and helped me for sure, be more confident, be much stronger, and not give up. I remember when I went to college, one of the first people that I remember calling was Langley, because I was scared as hell. You know, I went away. It was my first time really going away and staying away. I never went to sleepaway camps. I didn't know what that was about. And I was just like, none of these people look like me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And he was like, you got this, it's okay. You know, so, and he always said, call me anytime. Call me anytime. Whenever something doesn't feel right or sound right, call me. And I did. So I thank you, Langley, for opening up your heart and your world to me and to all of us. I'm hurrying up. I heard you. And Gina, thank you.
Thank you,
for
Gina.
sharing of your wonderful, wonderful name with us.
Good night, everyone. I'm here to represent all the mothers who are either single mothers or became single mothers and had Langley. I had to say to my daughter, what is his name? Because I'm accustomed to Coach Langley. But I want to say, Howard, on behalf of those parents where you stepped up and you became that father, I am so appreciative. You are leaving a legacy and footsteps in which it is going to be hard for anybody to step in. On behalf of Ashley, tonight I say thanks from the bottom of my heart. I know you're still supporting us, and I appreciate it every day. Thank you. Thank you.
2009, are we going together? Auntie, you were the first one to go. Did you play football? Yeah? What position? Yannick. God will bless you. Mr. Man, you skipped the line.
Yeah, man, understand. Respect.
Yeah, respect. Oh, he's what?
Sana.
Tall man, what go on?
Good night, y'all. My name is David White. He's been mentoring me for the past year now. I met him in high school, and we just been, in touch ever since. He's been helping me a lot through, a lot of things that's been coming up in life. And he asked me, to bless him with a little portrait. And I started painting a year ago. So I just want to say thank you for everything, and I just want to appreciate you.
He even got the smart. Coach, wait, pose with the picture and smile. Wow. I would have skipped y'all too. I'm not gonna lie. I would have skipped y'all too.
That's fire, bro. That is fire.
Let's have a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Nah, you good, man. Imagine coming home late. You come home late and that picture just coming out of all sleep. Jamaicans, y'all love y'all some Yeah, Polly. Okay, football team, are we ready? Don't be singing that you're singing. Let's have a big round of applause for the DeWitt Clinton varsity football team. Charlie, you don't have to break my hand because you're happy to see me. Oh, we got some deltas in here tonight? Ooh. We got the AKAs here too? Okay. Hey now. Listen, I love all of them. I love all of them. We're gonna get to that. We'll get who's speaking first. Of course.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sadiq Suleiman. My experience with Coach Langley began when I was just a young man looking for an opportunity. I started off at Taft Educational Campus. They didn't have a sports program, and I wanted to transfer out. Marilla Richardson was the dean at the time, and basically she told me about Coach Langley. So my first time meeting him was right outside of Clinton. Right in front of the building. I walked up to him, I was like, Coach, I want to transfer. I want to play football, but I've never played the game before. As a matter of fact, I was a kid who grew up in Ghana, came to America when I was 14 years old, barely spoke any English. My English was not as good. Like Prince, I was called African Booty Scratcher, all the names, So one of the ways in which I coped with this was I fought a lot, so I got in trouble. Every time somebody called me African Booty Scratcher, we were fighting. And so football and my experience with Coach Langley, taught me a couple of things. One, he taught me how to be a man. For a kid like me growing up, we're looking for someone to kind of model after. Coach Langley was that role model for us. For me, I learned how to be a man. Two, he taught me that sometimes love does not come from family. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Hello.
Coach Langley. I'm in like a weird predicament because it's like I'm one of the few Latino persons that were on the football team. And my parents hated me. Listen, my parents hated me for playing football. It was like baseball or nothing. No, playing football. But my parents came to respect Coach Langley. He literally made me into the man that I am today. And it wasn't just through running 40 sprints in a practice. It wasn't through doing 1,000 push-ups. It wasn't even through running the same play 10 times, even when the team knew we was gonna run it. It wasn't through that. He literally told me the mindset that you have to have for life, where it's get the hard part done first, and then you can chill. With the sprints and everything, get the sprints done. As long as you finish fast, you have more time to rest. You have more time to relax, to look at Tracy Towers, all of that. He's given me relationship advice, everything. I'm gonna tell you this story. I remember I was going through a dilemma. Right after high school, I was fresh, 18, prime rib. And for some reason, my heart was calling for Coach Langley. So I hit him up, and he's like, come to my office, don't worry, relax. Just come to my office. And I pull up to the office, it was the one in the cellar. Your man has a beef patty, and then the pineapple soda. I'm like, all right. And he gives me this advice, and it was the best advice I got in my life, because it made me who I am right now. I would have been in a bad relationship. Thank you. But this man is phenomenal. Not only psychologically, not only anything else, but he's really done his due diligence in how to treat kids, how to come up with teens, and how to be relatable, even though he's a geezer. But listen to all that reggae at camp. At the end of it, I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. We're loading up the U-Haul, all that. I'm like, yo, it's not that bad. He's playing that Sean Paul. All right, cool. Thank you so much. You've made all of our lives, I think I can speak for everyone. They're gonna speak, but who cares? We're gonna speak. Relax. You've made all of our lives much more than what they could have. And even my father said, my father can't even speak English, and he thanks you to this day. You've literally made me the man who I am. You see this tie and all this? This came from you. I would have been working at McDonald's if it wasn't for you. I can't stay from work. This is how I work every day because of Coach Langley. So, listen, man, I thank you so much. I appreciate the fact that your head is like super shiny for tonight. You looking good, baby. You looking good. I respect it. Thank you so much. I'm glad that everybody's out here for Coach Langley because, pardon my French, he's the shit.
1 minute. What's up? Hey! I'll keep it real brief because Oscar took all the shine. My name is Kweku, class of 09. I had two fathers, my biological father, and I had Coach Langley.
Yeah, he was my father too.
As my second father. The reason why I say this, because Coach means so much to me, because I was a kid that was confused when I came. I came from Ghana. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know much English, just like, a lot of what Sadiq said.
I knew English. You knew English.
You always gotta go with the English story, right? But, I was actually going the opposite way. I was into like the gang, the streets, and everything, I was lost. And I had one conversation with Coach. And this was the conversation. Dude, this is your your last chance. And no more chances. I'm gonna talk to your father, and I'm gonna make sure you stay on this team, and you're gonna be with the team. Make your choice right now. Either you walk out the office, go be with your gangsters, or stay with us and be with this gang. I actually thought about it. I got up, I was gonna walk out, and I'm like, wait, there's so much ahead of me, Coach showed me everything, He taught me how to be a man, how to be respectful, how to change that attitude, that mindset around. And most importantly, he was really my father. Like, we sat down and we talked about so many things I can't share with y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? I'll text him later and I'll tell him what I wanted to say. But thank you so much, Coach. You're amazing. And you know, there's so much to say, but I'll pass it on to the rest of them. Let them get their word in. And we thank you guys.
How y'all doing today? Tonight? I'm really nervous. I'm gonna just keep it quick. Alright, so sorry. I'm Patrick Lindo, aka Pretty Pete. You know the vibes. I remember coming to football camp when I was in 8th grade with Langley, and you know I was very small, skinny, and the first day I came, I seen all these huge football players, and I started crying. I was petrified by everyone, and you know, still till today we talk about it whenever we joke around college, but like I didn't know what I wanted to do. But one thing I thought about my senior year was I always wanted to be like Langley, because you know everybody loved him. He was a great phys ed teacher. You know, he got everybody right, especially during practice. And you know, as his nephew, you would think that you know you get special treatment. No, not at all. But I remember the last day of school I talked to Langley, and he told me that to tell myself that I will always, you know, graduate. Like I will always focus on graduating from college, do my best, and I did. So he came to my graduation, and he gave me my football jersey that he's been saving since my senior year, since my last day of school in DeWitt Clinton. And at that time I was like, wow, this guy's amazing, you know what I'm saying? And I was just, you know, it was always him that motivated me to get through college. I'm now a phys ed teacher for high school, just like him. And also, I do see, like, you know, what you've been dealing with, so I apologize, you know, because these kids are crazy, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, if it wasn't for you, then, you know, I wouldn't be in this position either, so thank you so much. And also, you know, I'm sorry, I also got accepted into grad school today, and I owe that to Langley, and, you know, there's others too, but, you know, it's Langley tonight, so thank you for everything, Mr. Langley, and I appreciate everything.
Everyone.
2 minutes, please.
My name is Kendall Alexander. Yo, I didn't know you was funny, man. You was suck. I ain't gonna. So, now, my name is Kendall Alexander. I'm class of '97. I resonate with that table right there. Round of applause for Langley. Come on. You see, that table is a table of champions. And you see the kind of people that come out to kind of give back to, you know, mentioning, you know, what Langley did for them. And I thought I was special. Apparently not. Everybody has the same story. It's true, but it's different because I was different from all you guys. I was a real knucklehead. I was very volatile, and I took a lot of risk. And I remember I had a conversation with my mother and father, and they basically thought that my future was over because I just really chose the wrong path. And Coach Langley saved my life, man. And it wasn't until I have 5 children, and I'm from class of '97, so I'm a little old. I'm like 40 years old. So chill, you know what I'm saying? Still looking good. Athletes, baby, you know what I'm saying? And I had to explain to my 5 children where I was going and what I was doing and why I was doing it. They wasn't so happy, but I said, this is some things that Daddy has to do, you know, so I could give back. I need your support. I'll be back home. They still not happy, but I'll be back home. Langley stepped in for me when my father fell short. My father, you know, whatever. It's a lot of us in the middle of the Bronx, and my dad wasn't there, and Langley stepped in. You know, he helped me think through times when I wasn't getting what I wanted and how to manage that, you know. And it was very hard because how can I say it? Nobody could get through to me. I looked at you, you was a scrub, you can't talk to me. I looked at you, you couldn't beat me in a fight, you're not gonna talk to me. I was really a hardhead. And Langley understood a young man of my spirit and constitution, and we had a silent kind of correspondence where he would speak into my spirit and I would actually listen. Listen, me? Shit. All I can tell you is that senior year I was done with football, I was on the block. He used to come to, how many, you know, it wasn't two that came. Because you can't be in all these places at the same time. It was him. Where is he? Where's the guy with the dreads? Where's your brother with the dreads? It was him. Because you can't be in all these places at the same time, brother. I don't know how you did it, but he used to come to the block late night. You know, I was doing what we do on the block, and he was talking to me like, you know, you need to think through your future. You're leaving a lot on the table. He had me self-reflect, write some things down. And I ended up going back, playing football, ended up in Boston College, got a degree from the Carroll School of Management. I mean, that was nothing, because in the New England area, I had a brother at Yale and one at Brown, so that really was nothing. But later on down the line, I found myself in more trouble. But at that time, when he took me off the block, I could tell you, brother, those minutes that you saved me from being on that block, I don't know what could have happened, but it was tricky. Later on down in life, I was facing life in prison. Then I went to 40 years. And the whole time I was just leveraging, I went to Boston College. Yo, hey, I told him I went to Boston College, man. See, they, you know, lesson at the time, man. And then I started thinking like, damn, the only reason I can mention this little card here is because Coach Langley took the time away from his family to come point to a kid like me because he knew I needed it. And he knew it was time of the essence. And he taught me that it takes a village, and it takes sometimes a sacrifice from your own energy portal to pour into others. But I found out that what I couldn't get in my own father, I was able to get in Langley. So you can always find it somewhere. And I know that we're not all perfect. So because of how he managed me, I was able to forgive my own father. And today we have the best relationship ever. And when I look back, I'm still a knucklehead. The first thing he told me was like, yo, you still a bully? Am I still a bully? Yeah, holla back. I'm just saying, I'm cool now. I got a nonprofit. I help hundreds of kids nowadays. And I strive to be like Coach Langley because he still can't beat me in a race.
He can't beat me. I don't care how old I am. And they all know that. All right? I love you, my brother. So, we want to save some time for y'all to get some exercise on, right? So, we're going to just go real short with the last few. We're going to have a songstress come up here and bless us, and then we're going to move our booties. Here we go.
Classmate. We graduated class of 82. And I backed Lang up. I backed him up at corner. I backed him up at free safety, wide receiver. So I was just happy to be on the team. But I also, I think I'm one of the few people where both of my sons played for Langley. And my sons were knuckleheads. Both of them got kicked off the team. But I will say, and Langley and I talk, go back and forth. We speak all the time. We text, we be in contact. And on Father's Day, I remember telling him, I said, thanks for being a father to many. Because my son, my middle son was the first to graduate of my kids. And I owe it to Coach Langley because he was kicked off the team, came back, made all city. And I just want to say thank you for being a father to many.
I am doing your job. What is going on here?
Coach Langley, I know this is your night, but don't let the ancestors be mad with you.
Good night, my name is Wayne Otto, and I met Langley 117, and I think I go back almost 30 years with this man. And I've been a Langley stalker, I think, for the longest in this room. And as much as he's inspired, this man never gave me one answer. Never gave me an answer. And I called him every stage of my life with issues, and he never gave me an answer. The only answer he gave, 7th grade, science teacher, I made an incandescent bulb, and it worked the night before, and the day of, it wouldn't work. And I was sweating, and I was nervous, and I was presenting, and all Langley said is, Wayne, I know it worked, but it never worked. And throughout life, you know, and that was junior high school, and I met up again with Langley in high school, and Langley was there in college, and Langley came to my house after college, and this man has just always been the father figure that I never really had. I had 2 fathers, but he was the only father that really cared. And it took a long time, and we've been through a lot, and he's always been there. And I can call Langley whenever, and it was like I spoke to him 10 times the day before. And for that, this means so much, and I'm glad I made it. And you met my kids, and because of you, I'm married to my beautiful wife back there. So not only did he inspire, he's a matchmaker. And Langley, thank you. Thank you.
Just want everybody to know your grand total is about $500, so you know yourself. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have an amazing, amazing performance by a wonderful, wonderful performer. She goes by the name of Sasha. Big round of applause for her. She comes out, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause.
Come on, Sasha, come on.
Some people live for fortune. Some people live just for the fame. Some people live for the power, yeah. Some people live just to play the game. Some people think that the physical things in life that's within, and I've been there before, but that life so full of the superficial. Some people want it all, I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. Some people want diamond rings, some just want everything, but everything means nothing if I ain't got you, yeah. Some people search for a fountain that promises forever young. Some people need 3 dozen roses, and that's the only way to prove you love them. And in the world on a silver platter, but what good would it be with no one to share? if I ain't got you, baby. Some people want diamond rings. I just want everything, but everything means nothing if I ain't got you, yeah. Ooh, if I ain't got you with me, baby. Ooh, there's nothing in this whole wide world that don't mean a thing if I ain't got you with me, baby. Langley, thank you so much for everything. Everyone has said all the sentiments. This is my cousin. I found out when I was on the track team. He said, hey, you look like me. And I said, this guy is crazy. But ever since we did our research and found out I really look like him and we're related, he's been there. He's been there at graduation. He helped me to go to college. I said I was gonna work in the supermarket, and I went to college. Because of that, I met my husband. He's been there for my kids. He's been there for my kids' track meet. He's here for everybody. He is a great, wonderful person. My cousin Gina, oh, you guys are the best. Kaya, and I'm so happy that you're retiring and that you've left this legacy and you were able to touch all these lives in here. Thank you so much for everything. I love you, cuz.
Coach Langley, you are making people meet husband, wife, getting them job. Please, me too, I need a job. I need wife too, please. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, I need everybody on their feet right now as I welcome the man of the hour to give his speech. If you know that Coach Langley has impacted your life a certain way, I need you to make some noise. I need you to go crazy right now for Mr. Howard Langley. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep that round of applause going. He deserves everything right now. Let's keep that round of applause going.
All right. So, I only had one goal for tonight, and so far so good. I mastered the silent cry tonight. This could be overwhelming. I'm a person who really doesn't spend time looking back, but I allowed myself to for this journey. So there's been a lot of talking. I want you guys to have some fun for the last 40 minutes or so, moving around dancing. So it's gonna be real simple and a condensed version, but that doesn't mean it's not gonna be meaningful or powerful. I wanna thank my mother, first and foremost. I love you very much. I'm happy that she thought my father was handsome. So, she's retiring as well. The track girls all remember when I first met her. I chased her. She's fast. She ran track for Auburn in Division I. I was Division II, but I caught her. Here's the beauty of our relationship, and I think some of you can relate. The beauty of our relationship is we allow each other to be ourselves, okay? We don't try to impose each other to be something different. And so my words for that is if you love somebody, accentuate who they are. And if you can do that, then the relationship has a chance to flourish. So I really, really love you. And I want to tell you that you are in trouble because there's no more work. I say no more. Nah, she can't be grossed out. That's why she got here. You talking about? Number 2. In life, remember this. So I used to call them, as I got a little bit more seasoned and I realized that I have a lot of sayings that I don't even write down and stuff. But after a while, I started saying I'm dropping jewels, and you can pick them up, all right? So I'm gonna drop another. I read stuff all the time. I'm like a pseudo-intellectual, even though I'm a PE teacher. So I read a lot of stuff, and you know, I take nuggets from people and things and experiences, and I just try to share them with the world. So here's this one. In life, you are only responsible and compelled to one relationship, and that is to your children. You are compelled to that relationship. Everything else is negotiable. Everyone else is negotiable, but your children you are responsible for. Look at my beauty. Okay? I have never had a moment of trouble with this young lady. Kaya is an absolute beautiful daughter. I can't really express how much I love you. Like, I would do anything for you. You are on your way to South Beach. Just remember that Mommy and I are paying for all of it. But I want you to have a great time. I am not the dad that's telling you to not do this, not do that. That's what college is for, to experience life to the fullest, okay? Your character, your sense of self has already been instilled. So we have no doubts who you are as a person, so we're not afraid about that. Just let it be known that we're your parents, we got your back no matter what, and now you've met the rest of your brothers and sisters, okay? So, with that said, I want to go through my thank yous. So many teachers along the way, they're not here, but I'm going to thank them anyway. I started with my favorite teacher of all time, and the other couple that is not here, 3rd and 4th grade teachers. As I went to middle school, there were a lot of people there that influenced me as well. There was a teacher in 8th grade, Miss Eichert. They taught typing back then. That was my typing teacher, and she wanted me to go to a private school. It was an ABC program away. And now that I look back, I'm glad I didn't go. Okay, I probably would have been a totally different person, but I'm here, and I want to thank Ms. Eichert for that, although she's not here to receive the words in person. If you speak it out to the universe, they still get it, all right? As I got to high school, the most influential person was my high school coach, Coach Prezioso. I'm the type of kid in high school, I never really spoke, but I took it all in. And that's okay for people who are quiet. They're really good listeners. And usually that means that they're gonna be able to say something of value when they do speak. So my high school coach was my greatest influence. As I got through high school, I went to college, all right? In high school, I had a rough road for a variety of reasons. And I was never ashamed of it because I knew that the mind worked, although the grades didn't say so. I ended up going to Hudson Valley Community College, all right? There's no woo. Oh, you went there too, okay, woo. So community college, it was upstate, so I act like I was going away to school, you see, it looked good. It was basically Bronx Community North, but nobody knew that. At Hudson Valley, we learned to survive. I have some friends that are here from Hudson Valley. Hudson Valley folks, put your hands up, all right? Kenny and Ron. We went through hell. We ain't even gonna get into those stories. Everybody who's been to college know, but remember, this was the 80s. This was bad. You're talking about bread sandwiches. You're talking about stealing food from the supermarket to eat, okay? You know that, okay? So we could spend a night on that, all right? At college, I met a track coach. I never ran track before, but I told him I was good. He looked at me like I was crazy. I kind of ended up being kind of good. And then I graduated, 2-year college, I graduated in 3, okay? Took me a while. I was caught in the moment, I had nothing to do, I had no money, I had nowhere to go, but I had confidence that I had built up from my experiences. I talked my way into a college scholarship at CW Post. All right? I was 12 hours away from being a United States Marine. Nobody knows that. I signed up for the Marine Corps because I had no money to continue, but the call came from Coach Warren Bratter, and he said, we'll give you a partial scholarship. I said, I'll take it. I went out to CW Post, I practiced for a week. He said, we like you, we're gonna make you captain. I said, oh, that's good, I'll be captain. But how can your captain be on partial scholarship when you have all these freshmen on a full ride? He said, okay, you have a good point, we need to talk about that. He signed the papers, I'm on a full ride, my life is good. After that, I'm settled in. My focus was graduate on time. Not really, but graduate. 2, be disciplined in my responsibilities, which was academics and track and field and a social life. And those 3 things I did not play. So what I did was, when I was in class and I was serious about studying. I have some college classmates here who never saw me with a book. They wondered how I did it, but I did it in private. I would go to class and then I'd go straight to the library to get my work done. I have a goal in mind and an accomplishment that not a lot of people know. In high school, I messed up because I never went to class. I used to cut. I had issues that nobody knows of. I was a drinker, and I used to hang out and do stuff, a lot of things that people don't know. But I didn't use that as a crutch. I kept fighting through it. Once I got to college, I became focused on never missing class. So in all my years at Hudson Valley, I never missed a class, not one time. In all my years at CW Post, I never missed a class. So it became apparent to me that showing up is the first step to being successful. So I did that all the time. When I got to college, at the end of my senior year, I was a little bit bored, and some very influential young men invited me to pledge a fraternity. I don't know what that was. You've never heard me say that, right? Okay, but I said it tonight, because that was a very influential part of who I became. Having your peers basically kick your ass for 8 weeks, and you're their slave, teaches you a lot. And what I got out of it was brothers, like real men that are my brothers, and I know that they have my back no matter what. After the fraternity, I decided that the ideals that I learned, I'm gonna have to live them. So part of what our culture and motto is culture for service and service for humanity. So I might not wear paraphernalia, but I live the creed, and it was important for me to exhibit that throughout the rest of my life. Then another big influence for me was I went to the Million Man March, okay? It was the first time in my life that I had been in a crowd, in a group of black men, and I felt safe. I spent the night prior to what you guys saw on stage, and if this was center stage, I was standing right there. But the beauty of that night was black men from all over the country just stood up and they just gave testimony to going back to their communities and giving back. And I felt like that was something that I needed to do. I had offers to teach in Long Island and upstate. No offense to Long Island upstate, but I'm from the Bronx. All right, so I'm true to the Bronx. After the Million Man March, I was fortunate to have worked in the junior high school that I went to, 117. And I was also fortunate to coach and teach at the high school that I went to, DeWitt Clinton. Okay? So, funny for me is, when you watch TV, take something away from that. Those of you that are old enough to remember Welcome Back, Kotter, that was real for me, because I wanted to be Mr. Kotter, okay? And I ended up being Mr. Kotter. Okay, everybody said I looked like Washington, but I wanted to be Mr. Kotter, all right? So I taught at my high school, and I did 30 years, but I never really worked, not a day. because I was doing what I wanted to do, which was play. All right, imagine playing ball 5 hours, and then they gave you a check every 2 weeks. I consider myself a professional athlete. Okay? And so that's the way I live my life. I was a professional athlete. I told my wife that when I first met her. She goes, you know, she liked guys in suits. I said, yeah, I wear a sweatsuit every day. All right? But I didn't take it lightly. Every person that was in front of me, I just felt like I needed to treat them the way I thought was right. But I was a wound up person, all right? You might see the big smile, but in my head was always spinning. I was always tight. And the reason I want to thank him, I never told him this, is because he taught me how to have fun and how to love life. And that's not a meaningful or frivolous thing. You have a lot of people walking through life that are just tight. They don't know how to relax. And once you relax, everything that you have around you will start to come into play. So, it is because of Derek Burke, my brother, who also became a teacher. That's his story. You can investigate that one another time. I learned how to actually love life while I lived it. And I want to thank you for that. To everyone that's here, all right, so this is it now, right?
Cry, my friend, cry. We have been waiting.
I'm good. To everyone that's here, I sincerely love every single one of you. I do. My number is 914-830-2431. It will never change. You can call me and we can talk. I realize everyone has a gift. Coach Vega, one of my dear friends. Coach Vega, give it up for Coach Vega. He taught me that everyone has a gift and it is your job to find yours. And I think I found mine, and mine is giving advice. So part of what I'm going to do is two big plans. I'm going to become a life coach. And I'm going to write a book or a podcast. I believe my ghostwriter is in the house somewhere. We won't say who you are, but thank you for being here. And I'm going to have a grand time for however long I'm going to be around. I will always be available to you because you guys essentially are my life. Thank you, and I love you all.
Let's have another big round of applause. Another big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Another big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Did we enjoy ourselves tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, now, I have an experiment that I do every time I do this. So, I'm going to ask a question. If you know you enjoyed my